we rolling?
We're rolling.
Are we rolling? We are rolling.
Boys and girls, welcome to the
straight in.
Nice to Meet You podcast. And today on the podcast we have
All right,
Rich
I'm giving up
Foster.
the co-host job's giving up. Co-host job giving up. We don't even need to introduce this
Forget
girl.
about
She's
the
just
two
twerking in
hosts.
front
I'm
of the
here
camera.
today. I'm really messing up. I'll sit down.
Episode 6, Nice to Meet You podcast. We've got Date It and Relate It star Rachel with us today. She's been on Netflix for the past month, showing us her graft, showing us what her type is, doing her thing, dating all these boys in the villa.
I don't know that I was doing my thing. I don't know if you can call that doing my thing, to be fair.
But it's good to have you on. How are you doing?
I tried. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, yes. We're doing good. We're doing good. You've been
Nice
busy.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you, girl. Very nice to meet you. Straight in, Date It and Relate It. I seen your post and I was like, what a big and like the most fucking clickbait thing. I was like, Date It and Relate It. There's no way these two are dating.
They did us.
I was like,
dirty
this
for that
is
title.
step bro, step sis shit.
Lad, I had to actually.
I was like, what is going on?
I could not read the comments and
But did they not? They did that on purpose. But
I think they did it
had
on
to.
purpose as like an advertisement
Had to.
thing. But so many people were like, "Oh my god, are you dating your brother?" Like, no, I'm not fucking dating my. Have you seen the size of his head? Like, no. No, I'm really messing.
No, but I seen the post. I actually did think, what is this show? And then I think you obviously had it in the caption and whatever.
Do you know what though? The whole concept of the show is a lot more. I do think it is really fun. It's a new concept. It's not like Love Island or whatever.
It brings on a different dynamic because
absolutely
that whole overprotective sibling whilst you're dating someone whilst intense in a villa.
Yeah.
I actually really like the concept.
Now, can I say the whole overprotective sibling thing? I think Netflix got it wrong with me and Andy because like. We really couldn't give a fuck. Like he could
I
date,
seen that.
honestly, like he could date whoever, and I could date whoever, and like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I've set him up on nights before, and like he set me up or whatever. And we'll do it. We literally couldn't give a shit, but there were siblings in the villa that would be like, if people were kissing in front of it, they'd be pure like, like, oh, what you do? You know what I mean? But we're just not like that. But I think they threw in a good mix of people, so that there was a.
I think your other bro who's here today should have definitely came. He's being saved for Love Island. This guy. We'll get another Foster on a dating show soon.
He's being saved for the undateables.
My guy. But how on the Netflix show? How did that come about?
So I had actually been cast from Netflix before for Too Hot to Handle. If you've ever seen Too Hot to Handle,
Really?
Yeah.
That's done really well too.
Yeah. So I was going to be on season 3. I flew out to Turks and Caicos for 6 weeks. On week 4, so you're like kept in a villa completely by yourself, completely isolated, but you've got a chaperone who looks after you the whole time, right? On the 4th week, when I was supposed to be going in as like a last arrival, it turned out that I had a positive COVID test somehow.
Oh.
Now, also though, they had come and told me, like, I don't think you're going to be making it, and I think you might have to make it home or whatever. And then on the same day, it also turned out I had COVID and couldn't even go home. So I don't know.
So you
I
were in
don't
the
really
villa
know-
with COVID?
No, I never went into the villa. I always was staying in the villa that I was in. I never
the
went
wee-
into the
the
villa.
wee stair- yeah,
So we
yeah,
all
yeah.
had separate villas.
Yeah.
So I was there for 4 weeks, no phone or nothing for 4 weeks. But see, when they found out I had COVID and definitely wasn't going on the show, they gave me my phone back and they were like, look, here you go, whatever.
Yeah.
Had to stay for 2 more weeks until I got a negative test and then I could fly home. But we were starting to question at the point, it was just me and the one chaplain. We thought, like, where the fuck have we got COVID from? So it was either from, we were allowed an Uber Eats delivery like 3 times a week out of 7 nights. The rest of the nights we had to cook our own food. Or there was these puppies that kept coming around our villa and I was petting the puppies like fuck, because I love animals. I was all over them.
Fuck me catching COVID.
But listen, we were that isolated. I either got them.
I know that's
I was that isolated. I either got it from the Uber delivery
Him
guy.
passing the bag to you and it.
That
fuck me.
or the fucking dogs. I don't know, either or. But yeah, I somehow caught COVID in Turks and Caicos, and then I ended up flying home with the rest of the cast once the show had ended.
That I haven't got it.
How was that though? Like, whenever you're flying home with the rest of the cast, like, did you actually get to make friends? Did you have banter with them and stuff?
So really fucking crazy story.
All about it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Go for it.
All the tea is just going to be spilled on something.
So we're at the airport and I'm with my same chaperone and I see this guy, like he was in all white tracks, and I'm like, fuck, he's fit, you know, look at that guy there, or whatever. And she's
Go
like,
straight up and be like,
yeah,
hey
she's
girl,
like,
how you doing?
"Do
Hey
you know
boy.
what? Funny story, he was on the show. And I was like, no way. And he was like, yeah, he was on the show. I knew exactly who he was though, because Right, I got moved chaperone.
Are we allowed to say this, by the way? Just for
Yeah,
the
fuck it.
record.
So,
Alright, there you go.
so when
got
I
the
was
clearance, fuck
in when I was in my quarantine stages, I got moved houses 3 times, and when I got to my
Yeah.
3rd house, the bedroom that I was in, the guy had left his YouTube logged in with his profile picture still logged in, and his name was Obi.
Shit, right, okay.
So Obi made it on to season 3 of Too Hot to Handle.
Right, okay.
So I was sat beside him next to plane, and I was like, so you were on the show, weren't you? And he was like, what? And I was like, you left your YouTube logged in, and I got put into your villa after you.
Here's the question, but did you go through the YouTube history? Like,
Oh, I was through everything. Like.
She's that girl.
is there
girl.
is there anything interesting?
No, it was
to
all
talk about?
rap
On
music and
YouTube,
shit.
YouTube, on YouTube to watch. Like,
It was all
what do you wanna
music
Just
I
keeping
wouldn't
it
have been
soft here,
interested
keeping
in.
it
watch? It's like
soft.
rap music videos.
She doesn't want to rinse the man out completely. She's keeping it soft.
Girl in bikini riding a tractor. John Ferguson. But no, so I sat beside him on the plane, and he brought on this bottle of Fireball, so he was giving me a shot, and he was taking a shot.
What a drink.
Fireball
What
is-
a drink.
But
No, Fireball's not a drink. It's
it's fucking beautiful.
Life out yourself.
It's so nice.
Armoretto.
Sweets. They prepared you for it.
Brandy
Brandy
Amaretto or
balls.
Deserrano, all about it.
But I think he didn't have much luck in the villa with girls or whatever, and I'd been locked away for 6 weeks with no male attention at all. So
So you were just like, you were like, well, dare I say it, a dog in heat.
So we're sat beside each other on this plane, and I'm like, I know who you are. You were on that show. I was supposed to be on that show. You left your YouTube logged in my room, blah, blah. He's feeding me these Fireball shots, but half an hour into the flight, we're necking on with each other. Right? But,
Did you make it on the Mile High Club?
hey?
Did you make it to the Mile High Club?
No, we didn't. No. There was no Mile High Club. Just kissing.
Well, it's
just
just not
kissing.
even worth it then.
But
Shit.
but the rest of the crew who were filming were all on the plane, so you could see
Yeah.
when we first sat down beside each other, we were all like, they don't have a clue that. Do you know what I mean? They didn't know. But I knew what was going on because he had left his YouTube logged on, but they didn't think I knew. Whatever.
the story,
And then
like.
they seen us kissing and all, and the rest of the crew were like, whoa, like
What
obviously
about
thinking.
though, like the crew, like obviously the crew, the people, was it just the crew or was it actually the rest of the people on the show as well?
No, see, I don't know. So I flew from Turks and Caicos to Canada to home, and he was
Yeah.
from Canada, I think.
Right,
so he was on
okay.
my flight. I think the
Okay.
rest of the crew might have been on different, or the rest of the cast might have been on different flights.
Yeah.
But
If
you
it
could,
was a longer flight, you would have made the Mile High Club.
no.
Maybe that's too short.
Leaving it there.
Listen,
leaving
it's
it
on
there.
my to-do list, but we haven't done it yet.
There you go. Get the flight booked.
But no, so that's the Too Hot to Handle drama. It was supposed to be on season 3, but it didn't quite work out.
That's really interesting.
That's pretty
Right.
cool. I say that.
Always count your blessings, because I end up on another show with Andy, and I always say that, like, I wouldn't have been there with Andy if I had a got on something else. So
That's nice. That's nice actually that you brought your brother on like
Yeah.
to the show, like
Yeah.
because it brought a really interesting dynamic. Because I know, like for me, like my sisters are with 2 guys that are absolute legends. Like couldn't fault them, but I mean like. Even though we have our fights and fall out and shit, but I mean, lay a finger, my sister.
Fucked up.
really,
I'm so protective.
I used to be like
I'm
that,
so
but I'm not.
protective.
I couldn't give a fuck now.
see, I don't think Andrew
Shout
would.
out in the go. Genuinely, I used to get so wound up about it. See, in high school, your sister's fit and all this shit, and then I just got to the point. At that point,
See, you have a good-looking sister.
She's me with long hair, so yes, she's good looking. And, see now, do what the fuck you want, Brett.
No, I don't
Let
think
loose the
Andrew would give a
streets.
shit, but Ben sitting over there might throw a few fists for no reason just because he likes
I
a bit
think
of
he will
drama,
get
you know.
involved.
Make
Yeah.
sure you read the comments on these TikToks.
Man's got the hit
See
list, and we
who's
find
sniping
out
on Rachel.
find out some addresses. Doing Andrew Tate turn up at the man's door.
And Andrew Tate fans over here.
Oh, do we get cancelled? No.
Do you know what? Do you know
Man
what?
loves it.
No, I don't love. But some things he says I agree with, but most of the things I don't. But he does
Aye,
say
that's
some
fair.
sense.
Yeah.
Some
But
things he says make sense.
It's
but
actually nice though, but to hear that from a female.
It is. And I actually heard a female say if she talked to a boy who didn't like Andrew Tate, she thinks it's a red flag. Because
They're probably lying.
The man should like Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
no,
That was her perspective on it.
I don't know. I feel some things he says are very truthful. A lot of things he says are complete bullshit, but he does
Yeah.
speak some truth that other people are too scared to say.
Yeah, I totally agree with
And
that.
it's good that someone actually has the balls to say it, but a lot of things he says are ridiculous as well.
What do you actually think of that? Like the Piers Morgan interview? Did you see anything?
I
like
actually
that?
haven't watched it. Ben was watching the other day and I wanted to watch it with him.
What do you think? It is good.
Really
Isn't it?
is. Honestly, it is really worth a watch.
I know it's. I will
Piers,
watch
Piers
it.
Morgan, like, do you know what? I don't care. He's a wanker. Straight up.
Sorry,
like,
Piers
he's
Morgan, if you're watching.
I don't give a shit. He's a dick. But like anybody that was on Piers Morgan's show, like he had a vegan on. This is only one time I liked him. He had a vegan on one time, and he ate a Big Mac in front of her, and I was like, my guy. But after that, I hated him. But
He is rude.
like every guest he has on, he literally does not give them a chance to speak. It's like, so what's your opinion on such and such? And then he just tells you what your opinion is. Yeah. Whereas like Andrew Tate was able to.
It was a tough interview for Andrew.
He listens to what he's got to say and then replies.
And then he
speaks. That
speaks.
one, to be fair.
I think
Because he did back down a few times. He did.
Yeah.
He did, like,
But I think though, like a lot of the stuff that we've seen, like everybody's seen on TikTok is kind of to.
Do you know
to
what
build a persona,
though?
maybe.
He just came out of fucking nowhere and boom, Andrew Tate was just dropped on everyone, and he was
Well,
just
that was so true. It was
he
like,
was
who
just
is
the
this
biggest
guy?
man around, and everyone like. But it showed you whatever he was doing was working because he got his name out there. And now
Clearly.
he's the biggest name. Like
He's above Kim Kardashian.
he done his thing and he was
Seriously.
successful with it. Like it was.
Yeah.
Bit
So
mad.
like, like one thing to the guy, like he's not stupid.
No, he's his
Like,
head screwed on massively. He's got two screwed on.
Two screwed on. Like, don't get me wrong.
Unlike
there's-
myself.
Don't get me wrong. He is one of them guys, and some of the stuff he says, which is like, you know, is somewhat questionable. Is kind of a bit like, right,
Yeah.
okay, do you know what I mean? But I think some of the stuff that he says is literally like hitting
Yeah.
home just on what you said.
Yeah.
Is literally like there's so many people that are just
He says what everyone else is thinking, but
literally-
doesn't have the balls to
exactly.
say sometimes.
Cancel culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't give
But
a
then
shit.
he also takes it too far, and you're like, right, okay, man, that's too far.
But then sometimes like taking things too far like gets the hype.
that is what he,
like,
look, he got what he wanted.
Like Rachel,
and
like
he's
what
there,
about
and
like
that's-
your sense of humor? Like, would
Yeah.
you classify some of that as taking it too far?
So a lot of people would classify my sense of humor as taking it too far.
But is that your but like in all realness, but is that you? Is that your sense of humor?
absolutely.
Well,
Sometimes
but
I
that's
think,
that's what you want. That you should be yourself. Like,
No, you can tell, like, from meeting you, like, straight away.
like you really
that's-
are. Like you're just. You're not nice.
The first one I seen of you was your throat's a slide. It's a really nice slide, apparently.
to my dad as well. He was
Yeah.
not amused, but do you know what? No, that is my sense of humor to a T. It really is. But it's just my sense of humor. It's not my
Yeah.
whole personality. It's my sense of humor.
No.
But like, I think.
But that's why you've done so well, because you're
Yeah.
so funny.
I think a
and
lot of
so
guys
nice.
don't expect that to come from like a young wee pretty girl, like whatever. But it is just my sense of humor, and I'm not gonna hide that. And I say something sometimes, and people look at me like she just say that, but it's where my brain automatically goes to, and I can't help that.
It's funny. It's funny shit.
Tourette's or something?
But anyway, date it and
Kept
relate
up
it.
to that.
How did you get on? How did you get on that?
I will say nothing that you will ever do in your life can prep you for something like going on a reality
Very
TV show.
intense, yeah.
Honestly, it's like I had in my head for a while I was going to be going on a reality TV show. I'd done loads of castings for loads of different shows, so I thought like, right, okay, this is going to happen. I
Was
didn't
Love
know-
Island one of them?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Flip.
I didn't know what show I was going to pick and which show I was going to end up on, but I knew I was going to end up on one, and I knew this is going to be my reality. But see, the minute you're dropped in that villa and you're left to your own vices, nothing can prepare you for how it really is.
Because
It
you were a
is
bombshell as well,
mental.
which I think probably piles the pressure on so much more.
So much fucking pressure. So much pressure.
Bombshell by the pool, all these lads walk out, they're ready for you.
Yeah.
How
And
did that fit? Like,
What was that moment like?
From a two-way perspective, like one in terms of nervousness, but also like for attention. Like, how did that feel? Like, was it nice? Like, was it nice? Like, oh my god, there's fit guys here flipping from here looking at me, or is it like, holy fuck, I'm on TV and there's, like, what was it like?
I was that much under pressure when I first arrived there that I didn't think I fancied any of the guys. And I remember saying to the producers, like, I don't like anyone here. I don't think anyone here's for me. Like, this is not like blah, blah, blah.
Flip.
But see, like 4 days in, I nearly fancied everyone. Like, I get to know people for their... No, but I do. I get to know guys for their personality.
So I did watch the episodes last night, and it was anybody with a pulse.
And that's
And he's a
right.
wee wanker for saying that. But no, honestly, but when I first went in there, I didn't really fancy anyone. But I get to know people for their personalities, whatever, and then they start to really grow me, and I'm like, do you know what? I really like him. I think me and him. But I remember saying to the producers, like, oh, I don't think that. But anyway, besides the point, no, it was good going. It was bad going in there's a bombshell, but it was also good at the same time because all the attention's on you, obviously, and blah blah blah. And I remember asking all the guys, like, look, where are your heads at? Are you single? Are you not? I don't think they showed it, to be honest, but all of them said they were single and open and fine, except for Kaz. Except for Kaz, he was with Diana, right?
Go on, my guy, Kaz.
I'm trying to remember that he was the guy. There's two brothers.
Yeah, Kaz was the tall, really handsome, beard, sexy fella. The one I would have went for if he wasn't in a relationship, to be fair.
But he was the loyal one. He was the loyal one.
Yeah,
saying
he was the
taken.
loyal one, right? And then I asked the females, I was like, right, okay, so which one of you are single? All of them, oh, I'm with him, I'm with him, I'm with him, I'm with him. And I'm like, okay, well, the boys are telling a pretty different story.
Always the way.
Yeah.
Always the way.
Boys are saying they're single and the girls are saying they're this. But as a late arrival, I didn't want to be stepping on the girls' toes and I didn't want to be causing a fuss. So I sort of stood back. And yeah. So any of the girls that said they were with a guy, I didn't go with any of them people. Like, I would have liked to have taken Kieran or Daniel on a date and I didn't because the girls said they were with them or whatever, so I didn't.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember all their names.
I know, that's fine.
Kieran Daniel, there was actually a guy that was actually really like he was like to me he was like solid and down to earth. The guy kind of like curly.
Daniel, it'll probably be he stood up for his sister when William.
The one that you're friendly with is it? Corey.
Karina.
Karina, yeah, her brother. Okay, Joey, yeah.
He seemed like a really really.
He's
sound
a
guy.
top guy. We've just spent a couple of weeks with him in LA. A really, really, really top guy. But I don't think romantically me and him would have been there. I think we've completely different values. Yeah. Lovely fucking guy though, like really top
Top
guy.
G.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, going in as a late arrival is a lot of pressure. And the boys were saying one thing and the girls were saying another thing. And I didn't want to get on the bad side of the girls, so I kind of played it good.
Played it good, and you picked. Is it Jalen? You pronounce his name?
Yes.
Jalen from Cyprus. You picked him as your first date.
Yeah.
Was that? That was an interesting one. Because you were kind of saying.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna let you speak because I was like.
You were saying you don't really have a
coming,
type. You know, you don't really do the dating scene that much either. You were saying. So what drew you to Jalen for a date? Was it the factor that all the girls had kind of just solidified who they were with and you had no choice?
Yeah.
Could you not go in and just be free and go, I just want to fucking date you, mate? You couldn't really do that, or you didn't feel like you could do that.
I don't want to say too much without getting in trouble, but I possibly would have went for someone else if the circumstances would have been different. But I feel like I was maybe the best option might have been to go for Jalen in that time and see how things worked out for me and him and give him a chance. But I knew deep down that I didn't think me and Jalen were going to work, and we didn't really work. And I should have stuck with my guts, but I was being convinced otherwise, let's just say.
Okay.
Well, you gave him a sneaky kiss. And they spilled the beans on you as well.
This is another thing.
Hilarious.
Fucking hilarious is right, but can I just say...
Celebrities are all in the bed.
You just woke up.
But can I just say this would have made so much more sense to the general public if they'd shown this, right? But Jalen sat me down on the sofa and he said, look, I know you're not feeling much of a romantic connection here. I'd had a chat with the girls before and said, look, I really like... Yeah. I'd said to the girls, I really like Jalen, it's going really well, but I want to be honest with you, it's like, I don't think there's a romantic connection there, blah, blah, blah. And we talked about maybe if we kissed, maybe it would spark something, blah, blah, blah. Jalen sat me down on the sofa and he said, look, I know you're not feeling it romantically or whatever, there's no sexual connection, but how about we try a kiss and see if that lights any sparks? This was a conversation before that fucking kiss.
But that's totally different.
That gives it context, but they'll never edit it like that.
Nah, they never showed any of that shit. So it just looks like I've planted the lips on Jalen and then dumped him the next minute for Will, which is not how it went.
You do come to expect that with dating shows, but don't you?
Absolutely. You need to remember we're in there for 24 hours and they can only show a little amount, so they show the best parts and the rest gets cut out.
That was literally it. Because that was kind of like one of my, like, I wouldn't say questions, but like, you know, like the Love Island's one of the main, like, mainstream blah 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 kind of things, and it is that, like, you only see like the highlights, it's not behind the scenes. So like how was the behind the scenes, like how actually was that, like if you can be honest, like obviously you can't I'm sure there's probably a contract you had to sign and blah 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 blah. But is there stuff that you can talk about?
Honestly,
that, like,
see,
what was it
behind the
like?
scenes, it was all real life shit, real good substance shit. We're all having a good time with each other. We're all messing around with each other. Our personalities came across so much. We're all getting to know each other so much. I feel, and I've had so many people say to me as well since watching the show that they think the one thing that was missing is they didn't show anyone's personalities, and I completely agree. I feel like they could have shown so much more.
Well, I'm gonna interrupt you just really quick. Like, I was actually, I don't know if I said this earlier before we were recording. Like, whenever I first seen your TikToks, I just was like, mad, blah blah blah. But then, like, and I was actually seeing your brother actually, and I was like, you know, but like once you actually went on the show, and I don't want to like pure like quote, but you were like saying something like, I just don't date everybody. Like, it was one of the things I think you said, and like you take your time, you don't really have a particular type and stuff. And there was other different comments, and I was like, you know, from my he's just laughing, he's like, it's bullshit. Like, for me, it was like my initial impression that everybody like just makes an initial impression of somebody. Like,
No, absolutely.
you know, it's just like, first time I seen your brother, could have made a perception, but the guy's a legend. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying I didn't think that, I thought you were a legend.
But you're
So
wrong,
man
'cause he's
proved it.
not.
Do you know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
like, you know, you get this initial impression. When I was like, whenever I watched the show, I was like she's actually a really, really down to earth girl. Like, and actually, I was like you're like actually out of the. I'm gonna be honest, not just saying this because you're here, but like out of all the different people in the villa or whatever, you were probably the most real, and in my opinion. Like, that's me being honest. No, I'm being serious though. Like,
No, we talked about it earlier.
like to me that is like.
Thank you so
to
much.
me
No, I
that was,
appreciate
like,
that.
Like, and to me that like character means more than, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you were like,
No, I remember telling the producers, I said, if you're throwing me in there as a bombshell last minute, I said to them, I am not the type of girl that's going to like fall in love or pretend to fall in love with a guy in 2
cause drama or
days. It's
whatever.
not going to happen with me.
Yeah.
And that's why it was putting me under so much pressure, because I'm not a girl that's going to go in there and just be like, oh yeah, I like you, blah, blah, blah. It takes time for me to like someone and get to know, and do you know what I mean?
100%,
And I
absolutely.
warned them that, and that and that's exactly how
You
it
could
played
tell
out.
straight away you weren't in it for the 100k.
No way.
Yeah.
Like, that's
that's actually one thing that is really interesting. There was a scene where, what was your girl? It was a Will with what was the girl's name?
Julia.
And
he was like,
there's 100k it grabs here.
well, and this is another bit we'll get to in a minute. You know what's coming, and it's like he
Will,
was like, you know, they
Will.
were sitting down having the chat, and it was like, you know, she was just like, you know, he was like, you know, I need you to open up more, and then she was like, got all defensive, and he was just like, you know, there's 100k up for grabs here, and it just was like, me, you clearly are, pardon my
Priority
French,
wrong,
but narcissistic as fuck, like, that's straight up. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, you're just narcissistic. Give me the hate, bro. Shout it out. I don't care. Like, that's all I seen was just narcissistic. You're on that TV show for the looks, the clout, and like, that's it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, to me, for you, like, that did not come across.
No.
And
at
Andy
all.
as well. Andy as well.
Honestly,
and your brother as well, absolutely.
we're in there very last. Winning the money was never on the question for us. But like, if we could find someone really, really like them and go home with them, then fucking happy days. Do you know what I mean? But we were never going to go home with the money. It didn't matter to us. One thing I will say though about Will is, see, on the outside world, he really is actually a lovely guy. He is, and he would do anything for you. But see them on the show, they did play up a little bit. I think they just had this big whirlwind of an idea in their head of what, like, how important this was and how they portrayed their time on screen, and they really played up to it. But they should have chilled out a little bit and just.
Should I take that back?
No, well, that is how they came across. I'm not going to lie, like, and that's how they came across to me on the show as well. Sure, I kicked off with Will. I was like, "What are you doing?" Before our chat with the producers, like, he was like, "Play this how you want to play it how you want to play it." And I was like, "What the fuck do you mean, play it how you want to play it? We're not playing a fucking game here. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, am I a game to you? Like."
See, like, no, we'll leave that.
No, because the chat you had, so Jalen didn't work out. You have the sneaky kiss, beans were spilled, and then Will you took a fancy to. But you originally had a fancy wee Will, and the minute you came in, he had the sexy eyes going, apparently.
Listen, Jalen didn't work out, and I only had Will or Henry to choose from. Two brothers that look the exact same, and neither of
spit
them.
image as well.
I didn't think neither of them were really going to be my type. I have to
No.
pick one of the two. So
Yeah, yeah.
like, whatever I was going to do, it wasn't going to. And people could say Will was playing a game, but like I also had to pick someone, and I picked Will, so it was just as much my fault as it was his fault. We had to do what we had to do, like that. We had
And
no
that
other
chat you
choices.
had, was that planned? Like, were you told to have a chat about where you want to see things? Because it didn't work out well. You kicked off.
So we had a few dates in between, but none of them got shown. And I actually
there was one shown. There was one.
yeah.
shown,
So we
wasn't
had
there?
another one that wasn't shown, and then I had actually a challenge where I was like in the middle of a table, and I had Jalen, Will, and Henry, and it was like a speed dating, and I was asking these questions and getting to know them all, and so much didn't get shown. That's what I mean. So it's so hard for you as the watchers to try and figure out what's going on, because I feel like they've cut so much out.
Why do you think they cut it out? Because there was only 10 episodes, and they were like 37 minutes long.
Yeah.
They weren't even a full hour.
No.
So like, there was probably a window there.
How long were you actually like on the show?
I think me and Andy were only in the show for 6 days.
6 days.
Mm-hmm.
And that was 2 episodes.
Two episodes.
Aye, you were
3
essentially
episodes.
free, but
Yeah,
free,
2.5,
but
3,
most of
yeah.
your stuff was done in the 2.
Yeah.
But
It was very rushed. Very rushed.
Yeah.
There was no time to make decision making. There was no. Do you know what I mean? The whole thing was very, very rushed. Yeah. No, I would hate to go in. If I was ever to do anything like that again, I would hate to be going in that late. It was just. It messes with your head. Let's just say that.
Were you genuinely upset with Will during that conversation?
Oh yeah.
Were you actually proper raging there?
Yeah, I did. He had actually at the end of our chat, he had actually like pushed me away and was like, "Okay, we're done talking," basically. And the producers were like, "No, okay, you can't finish the conversation like that. Like you've got to go back and finish your conversation with him, or whatever." So I had to go back up and try and finish this.
Was this the bit
my days.
after the latter conversation? Because I know
This
That
was
was the
our
bit in the
very
balcony.
like this was
Oh,
our
just not
fight.
that one moment?
Yeah, this one moment.
So they make you say it again if it's not been caught properly or whatever.
No. Let's just say they want us to speak a little bit more on it because we kind of finished it, but I think there was maybe more to be said.
Right,
But he had
okay,
maybe
right.
chauffeured me off.
Right.
But I think they cut it and pasted it in a way where it was just like, okay, this isn't working out for us. And then he was like, yeah, I agree. And then I was like, oh, you don't fancy me. It made me look like I would. But he had said so many bits in between that they didn't show. And then it made me look like a pure psycho
I
bitch
think
being like,
the way that was shown was you were about to end it, but then he butt it in halfway and just went, "Oh, I was thinking the same thing," just so that you couldn't say it.
so-
Was
You know what I mean? It was kind of like,
it was going to be my chat saying basically, look, I'm not
It was
feeling
your
this
decision.
anymore. Yeah.
but he made it out.
But
That was my
boom,
decision.
he just went off on one and then chauffeured me off. And I was like, right, okay, well, that's my conversation over with then. But I had to go and finish that conversation with him. But I don't think that helped any. But yeah, a lot got cut out. Let's just say that. It was a real argument. But one thing is, I didn't really want all the girls to gang up on him like that. I would never be the type.
I seen that and I was like, I can fair, like, you know, like girls like sticking up for each other, but I was like,
No.
that was full like.
Yeah,
This
no.
man is.
I would never.
I'm gonna dry a bit there, like, wasn't he?
No, I did not want that to happen at all. I really didn't. And as well, bits of that was cut out. I was like I really fucking didn't want that to happen. And then afterwards, I said to him, like, just so you know 100%, like, I did not ask them to do that. I didn't want them to do that.
Yeah,
What
I
happened
remember that.
between me and you can only be resolved by me and you. They're like, I really didn't like that. I really didn't like that.
Because like that's actually one thing I did actually really want to touch on, like out of anything tonight, like this the podcast, was actually like you took the time to actually speak afterwards,
Yeah.
and actually resolve the matter.
Yeah.
And, like how mature, like you like obviously mature you're adults and stuff, but like how you like the whole thing was dealt with was like so respectable and so like it was like I wouldn't say maybe complete friends at the end of it, but you were like you could easily say like you were cool.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. Afterwards, we
understand
really
that.
did clear the air.
Yeah.
See, when you're in there, your emotions normally, what they are now, is times 1,000.
That's what they always say.
Jesus Christ,
No, I'm not even, like,
I'm not gonna...
see, I'm not. I'm like a fucking rock. I'm a heartless bitch normally, but I swear to God, like in there, your emotions are times.
Why is that? Is it
1,000.
because there's cameras on and you feel like?
No, it's because you're
Is it the setting,
you're so away from normal reality that you become so consumed in this little bubble and everything that's going on. You just become so consumed in what's going on that you get so emotionally involved in it. Like you'll never understand unless
you
you're
do
in.
it.
I swear to
Because
you.
that's what they always say with Love Island. And Love Island they do a lot of aftercare for them kind
Yeah.
of people, like going into it and reality again? Was there something like that for Netflix? Did they look after you that way?
Yeah, so I can hit up our what would that be called? A psychologist?
Yeah.
Psychological. I'm dyslexic, I'm sorry.
I couldn't even say it there. I wasn't going to embarrass myself.
Psychologist, so we can hit him up anytime we want if we want, and he'll be there to speak to us or whatever. We've got our aftercare there, Netflix have been very good with that, absolutely.
Is that like a straight like phone call like psychologist, or is it like
Well, I'd
an
probably
app or
text
what?
him and book an appointment with him and then hit him up. I wouldn't just ring him and be like, yo, what's the crack? Like,
Yo, my head's fucked.
oh, I'm just cooking dinner for the kids here. Can you ring me back in a second?
Not doing too good here. Fucking.
No, I would
When was that filmed, by the way?
a year ago.
So it's
That
only
was a
been
year ago.
filmed a year ago, only
Yeah.
aired last month.
Yeah,
Wow.
so this is another thing. It's like,
So it's hardly been a secret for a long time.
yeah.
Shit.
And I'm trying to remember, like, it was
How-
yesterday. It was
how-
all a year ago.
How
Like,
did you actually like assuming you've had to keep this on the hush?
yeah,
Like obviously your family knew.
yeah.
Like
So I think actually what we were told.
I couldn't keep a secret that long. I'm like,
I think
I'm on the show. I'm like, you know.
so. We were allowed to tell family and friends that we were doing a show. We just couldn't say what the
What
show
it
was or
was.
who it was for.
Yeah.
But it was fucking hard. Don't get me wrong. It was very hard. But at the same time, after it was done, I was nearly like, I don't even want anybody to know. I was like, let's keep this a secret as long as I possibly can. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough keeping it a secret.
for sure.
But it made it more fun whenever it eventually did come out then to be like, surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise,
And
motherfucker.
then you could re-watch it and like kind of refresh your memory.
I watched it once and I'll never watch it again. That's me
Why
done with
does
it.
like did it make you cringe watching it back?
No, I can't do it. I
Why?
can't.
Like,
I-
what
Is it the
about it?
accent?
Is it?
the accent? No.
that is one thing. Like
I actually think the accent was nice.
Really?
Like among everybody, like because
You could tell it was.
No, that's not.
Irish, like,
That's
I
not.
hate listening to mine back sometimes.
when you're
Well,
speaking yourself, you don't hear your own accent, do you?
I hate my voice. Like literally every time I listen,
when you
I
hear
don't-
it back,
I don't listen to the podcast.
When you hear it
'cause I
back in
hate
videos,
my
you're
voice.
like, "Do I sound like that? What the fuck?"
Aye, like it is mad. Like
you get used to it.
But
is
not just
mad.
the accent, the whole concept and everything, and all the activities and everything that happened. I've watched it once and that's enough. I don't need to watch it
I
again.
wish the show did challenges like Love Island though.
They
Yeah.
did.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they did. They just didn't show them.
fuck's sake.
I know.
That's
There was
mad.
so many. There was
Because I
like a
wanted
pool
the dynamic,
party.
like I wanted the whole like you maybe necking on with someone else's man, like her getting pissed.
Oh,
Guys, I was like,
and then the sibling getting fuming at her. Like
I kept saying to people in the villa, like, there's too hot to handle where you can't do shit with people and people are necking on, having sex, giving hand jobs. You can do whatever the fuck you want on this show and nobody's doing nothing. Like, what is wrong with you people?
Did everybody literally?
Everybody was
fridge
so
material?
PG.
did nobody have sex in the show?
I don't think so, no. And there was, I don't know if they showed
That's
it.
a fucking point.
There was like a little red room or whatever the fuck you want to call it that people could disappear off, well, people
Yeah.
got sent to. Did that get shown? I can't remember.
I can't remember seeing
I
that.
can't remember to be honest.
might
But-
I would be lying to say yeah.
Whenever people went there, they still didn't have sex. I was like, are you like, what's going? Are you dumb? Like,
Stage fright, like.
Are you dumb, lad?
are you dumb?
Are you dumb?
It was so PG.
mad.
I think that's the one thing that was maybe missing was that little bit of excitement.
Aye,
The
that would be
sexual
right, so-
chemistry, that's whenever things do.
Yeah.
start.
Because especially what you were like bouncing off, what you were saying a minute ago, like you know, like your emotions time, like you're a rock.
Yeah,
but usually then
normally.
it's like times by 10, like whenever you're in this villa. So like clearly you'd be like, oh my god, he's hot, or like girl or another guy would be on like she's fit, blah blah blah.
Like,
you know, it's just
Kaz and
whoa.
Deanna getting into a relationship. Like,
know.
if I'm in a relationship, I'm going to be having sex. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I wouldn't have lasted that long without sex. Just put it that
Yeah.
way. Like, I was like, what's wrong with you guys? Like, what?
Yeah.
You're allowed to have sex in the show. Why is it not
Why is
happening?
you not go
Yeah.
for it?
It was very, I think it was missing a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
I think if they ever do a season 2, they'll maybe add
But
some
say for
characters
exa-
that.
Say for
they
example,
should,
though,
they
if that did happen though, and like I'm gonna ask a bit of an out there question here. If that, say for theoretically, if that did happen, how would you feel like? Well, you probably won't actually give a shit, but like if your parents watched the show, then
Right, so I don't think I would fully put out on TV. Well, I don't know. Depends on the circumstances. I don't know. You never know when you're. Depends how horny you are, you know. But oh
Well,
dear.
there's girls out
Sorry,
there doing
mum,
it
if
for
you're
£9 a
watching.
month, like,
But
you know
no,
what I
like you can be sneaky or whatever, but the cameras can let the viewers know something happened in a way
Yeah.
without giving them a full-on sex
sheets are
scene.
moving and
You
shit,
know what I
do you know what I
mean?
mean?
Yeah. But you can be a bit sneaky without full-on doing a porno. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
But then
that's
Vicky
it.
Patterson has come on air and said her biggest regret in life was that.
But look how successful she is now. Does it, is in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter that she had sex on TV?
Probably not, but she did say it was the worst thing she ever did. Still,
Really?
aye.
That's mad.
Yeah, I seen an interview with her recently.
I don't know
So
if it
maybe-
came down to it if I would
I
have
think
sex on
she
TV.
did do it
but-
when she was really young.
Yeah.
I think it might have even been her first time, maybe even first couple of times having sex.
Yeah.
I think she thinks looking back on it, you know, it is a real intimate thing.
It is like, and I suppose like, especially whenever it's on live TV, maybe her mentality was like, shit, that's on TV.
I
can't
think-
take that back.
Yeah.
I think nowadays, whether people are doing it or not, TV channels don't show it anyway for the welfare of
Of the person.
of the cast.
person,
Yeah. So whether you do it or not, they'll give a tiny wee snippet of maybe like romance went down in the bedroom tonight, but they don't show. Do you know what
Well,
I mean?
here you
They're-
can take over your boy. Who's the boy that does Love Island's flipping voiceover? You can take that man's
Sterling,
job.
what's it? Ian
what do you
Sterling.
call him?
Tonight in the Love Island villa.
So
You might get asked back to host next season.
you never know.
No, I think is it Maya Jama or someone now?
Somebody, I can't remember who it is.
Did you watch Love Island this year?
Did love.
I literally I haven't watched Love Island since I
Big
think
fan.
season.
I'm normally away traveling, so
3.
don't see it. But I did see it this year. I don't know if I've seen it to the final. I can't.
No, I only watched like,
Oh, yeah, I did,
season
did it?
3 or season 4. I just loved your boy. They're like having a kid and all now. Alex Bowen and what's your
he's
girl
fit.
Olivia. like I to be honest, like no, I'll not say this.
You would
I
shag
turn,
him.
like,
You would shag him. You would shag
But
him.
that man is like.
He is.
Like-
Ike and Sue fucked you up this year, though, I reckon. Like,
Yeah,
and do
no,
you know
Ike
what?
and Sue killed
Everyone hated her at the start. Like, and it just shows you how quickly opinions can change in people.
Yeah. No, I didn't like Ike and Sue. I didn't actually think I liked David at the start. I kind of did. I think he was a cool guy.
I found his accent hard to get used to.
Good
but
looking
then
lad. I
I
was like, fair enough. You know, was doing his thing, and there's wee funny one-liners and stuff. But I'm a big fan of Love Island.
yeah, I liked
That's
it as
good.
well. This year brought a lot of drama and stuff. And
Yeah.
they all do. No,
I'm too busy flipping. I'd rather run about.
this busy boy over here. What are you doing? Shagging
See,
sheep.
Absolutely not. I'm a virgin.
For the next series, make sure you forward this man's name on.
Sheep shag over here.
Sheep shagger, what?
Question for you.
Yes.
After the show, have you had any big time in the DMs? I'm sure a load of lads have been in the DMs trying to pull Rachel. It's been on Netflix show. Any big names? Any blue ticks in there?
Since the show, to be honest, not. I nearly had more blue ticks before the show.
Really?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Everyone from the show has gone up like this, and that. I think the show brought me 2,000 followers.
You 2,000 followers?
It really didn't do me much. And
Like I think like TikTok, in my opinion, is taking over. Instagram.
Yeah.
when I'm out, people come over to me. That's the girl from TikTok. I'm not. That's the girl from Date It and Relate It. That's the girl from
TikTok
TikTok,
girl.
and I've got that name now, and that's the one that's going to stick. And
Yeah.
I'd nearly
You're happy
rather
with
that
that,
as
but-
well because I built that myself. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not the one that Netflix is going to build for me. It's like.
So you haven't found love post show then? No one's been in DMs of interest. No Jack Grealish or nobody. No.
Hello, if you're watching, my DMs are open. No, I have
Good to you, man.
dating. I have been dating, but no, I'm still single.
Still single.
And a few big names, but I think most of them,
Your brother's love.
most of them were before the show. The show's probably scared some big names off. Like,
Really?
I'm not getting my hair nice. No, I'm only messing.
Are you looking for a relationship? I know you're
Yeah.
23. You've did a dating show. Is having a boyfriend something you're actually
So
wanting?
I've been single for 5 fucking years. I've travelled the world.
What's
I've done
happened,
my
girl?
Shit. I've got my dream job. I'm like, it's getting a bit
You're set.
lonely
You're
now.
literally
Yeah.
set. How? What do you think? Is it because maybe you're too busy? Do you think you maybe even haven't tried enough, or?
Well, yeah.
What do you think
for
it is?
I've only really been dating the past year, and I think I've maybe been dating the wrong type of guys, possibly. But I really don't know. I would like to be in a relationship. I really, really like.
Yeah.
It gets a bit lonely out there. It's getting
Yeah.
cold at night.
You want someone to cuddle the bunda in the winter time.
I do have my 2 cats to keep me occupied for the meantime. Though, yeah? I am sort of. I'm not begging for it, but like if
Yeah.
it came, I'd be
Yeah,
happy.
you would take it,
you
like.
know, yeah. But waiting for the right Mr. Guy to come along, and when it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Very good. And what about the cast then? Have you stayed in contact with them? I know recently you were in Vegas and California. Shit went down in Vegas apparently.
A lot of shit went
I've seen
down
a
in
video
Vegas.
of you lying in a hospital seat. Fill us in on what's been happening the past couple of weeks. Does that shit look mad?
So I just went to LA for 2.5 weeks to visit the American cast. Some of them I hadn't even met on the show. I'd never met them before. And as soon as we
Right.
got on there, as soon as we got over there, we got on like a house on fire. I swear to you.
That's class.
Jason and Chris like they got so much abuse on Twitter for how they were on the show, but when I watched it, I thought like these two guys are legends. Like I loved their banter. I thought they were hilarious. But fuck, they're even funnier in person. They really are. They're brilliant guys. So we got out to.
There's always some of them people, but that in real life they are like on camera and stuff. They get awkward, but like you can actually have the flip. Like people that be on camera then are so like. And
then in real life they're born.
You
know, beep. But no, they were funny on camera and even funnier in real life. Like honestly, absolute pleasure to me. Then they were so nice. So they drove us the whole way to Vegas. And when we got there, we were like, "Fuck it, we're the whole way here. Will we go to Vegas, boys?" They were like, "We're up for it. If you're up for it." So we went.
Yeah. Why not? Get her done.
Lost my phone and my bank card
Shit.
on the first night.
Oh.
Lost my dignity on the second night. And on the third night, I ended up in hospital. Now, don't ask me how I got to hospital.
Did your dignity ever return?
Oh, Jesus. I actually lost it years ago, to be fair. I didn't lose it in Vegas.
That's
it was lost years ago. No, but third morning, woke up in hospital. I couldn't tell you how I got there. I don't know who brought me there. I don't know why I was there.
Holy shit.
And
do you think you were spiked or anything?
Possibly. So either too drunk or spiked. We still don't know. But Andrew just received a phone call in the hotel room, right, from the reception saying, "Hello, we've got the state hospital on here with a Rachel Crawford. Do you know who that is?" And he was like, "Rachel Crawford? Is it Rachel Foster?" And they were like, "No, it's definitely Rachel Crawford." And he was like, "Right, okay."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, Rachel.
And then they put him through to the hospital, and the hospital were like, "Yeah, we've got Rachel Crawford here. They wouldn't let me go. They wouldn't let me leave the hospital until someone came pick me up." And I can barely remember leaving the hospital. That's how fucked up I still was.
Well, to me, that like I've been spiked once, and it's not a fucking good experience.
Well, this wasn't fun. My whole face was swole up the next day like a puffer fish because of the IV drips. Like my eyelids were puffed up, my face, my chin, everything was all puffy. I had stuff here and here. I still couldn't tell you what happened. I don't really know what happened. It is a bit scary. I do need to wise up.
Really scary.
It is.
It's not that you need to wise up. I think it's just like I'll be honest. I was in Gran Canaria, like flipping.
I love Gran Canaria.
He sent me the video.
Shut up.
Don't shut up. Spill the beans. Spill them.
There's nothing that happened.
No, he sent me a video. You were blackout fucked.
Oh,
First I've seen him.
Oh, it was bad.
I've seen you
no,
bad,
but like I can handle my drink. Like, I can drink a full bottle of Morgan's. Like where was it? 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I say that, but I can't.
No, but literally.
Yeah.
I had just finished one drink. That was a double.
And I had
Coke.
two thirds of a 10 glass of Morgan's down me, raw straight from the bottle.
On the rocks, ice only.
Not
I'd
even
be
on the rocks. It was
I'd
just
be on the
straight
fucking
from
floor.
Straight from the bottle at one point.
I'd be rolling about. Oh.
No, and then
I
but
get fucked after 2 drinks, honestly. I'm a
you
mess,
you are lightweight,
I'm
like to be
real
fair.
lightweight.
Do you want to know something? You were on a work night out, and if I put it like this, if it's me texting the girlfriend being like, "Please make sure he gets home okay," that is when you know that like
The girlfriend have to come to rescue.
that it is bad. That was bad. Like it was so bad.
I'm like, fuck me.
So what happened in Gran Canaria? They were stop trying to deflect. This man's trying to
This
deflect.
girl's got good. This girl's got good psychological skills. Flipping doesn't like the flipping.
Nothing gets past me. Nothing gets
deflection.
past me.
No, nothing actually. Well,
Well, you don't know what went down. You blacked out, did you?
I will leave it at that. I blacked out.
I was sent crawling out of a taxi.
No, pretty much. No, I passed. No, I passed out. I literally like. There's a video. Pretty much, I lay on the ground for an hour, and my dad physically could not lift me. Like literally in my own like. Do I even care? Literally in my own sick. Literally like passed the clean out. It's what it is. Like you know.
Do you know what happens to the best of us? Don't worry. It does happen to the
So
best.
it's happening to you too.
Oh, I'm sure.
that's what happened to me.
Maybe when I was 16. I don't know if whenever I'm a grown adult, like, but I've definitely passed out my
To
own
be
sick
fair,
at some
well,
point.
it's 21, 22, so like
It's okay. We'll leave.
a couple of years ago. Like, so
But Vegas, keep going. What?
keep her that.
This is it, but they
Talk
wouldn't.
about
They
it.
wouldn't let me leave the hospital until someone came and picked me up. Obviously, because it was in such bad. I've still got the hospital gown as a wee souvenir. Yep.
Trophy. You made it out.
But obviously, when I was at the hospital, it was a Jane Doe. I had no phone, I had no ID, I had no bank card. So I don't know if I'm going to get a letter through the door with like some charge. You have to pay for healthcare over there.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I walked out there not paying a thing. I don't really know what went down. I really don't know what went down.
Like you know, well, have insurance. No.
Well, no, I didn't.
You don't get it.
I don't even think holiday insurance would cover that shit. I'm not sure. But Well, they think my name's Rachel. If you're watching, my name is Rachel Crawford.
Her email, rachelcrawford@gmail.com. You'll find her there. Send the bill there.
Rachel Crawford at 69. Oh, yeah, I don't know what went down, but Andrew was raging because he had to go out of his bed at 7 a.m. come pick me up from the hospital.
I
but
fucking fuming my sister, to be fair. Me and my sister fell out one time seriously in an escape room.
Escape room, Belfast one.
No, in Manchester, we were at a Backstreet Boys concert. Fucking unreal, by the way.
Backstreet Boys.
Oh,
All right.
best concert. I was fucking lit. I was lit at it, like, and we were in an escape room that was in a prison cell once. So it was an actual prison cell. So I was in one and she was in the other, and there was a wall dividing us. So I couldn't see what she could see.
Oh shit.
And she couldn't see what I could see, but we had to help each other get out of this prison cell. And we fell out like fuck. Because I had all these symbols on my wall.
You little bastard.
See, had all these numbers. And I was like, right, Nicole, like, tell me what you can see. What's in your room? What's on your wall? What's underneath your bed? Flip the bed upside down. What's going on? I can't really see much. I'm like, you need to give me more than that. Like, what do you see? There's a couple of numbers on the wall. And I was just like, fuck this. I was fuming. We fell out like 20 times.
Did you escape is the question?
No.
Did we?
Fuck?
It. Can't even get out of escape room, this lad.
30 minutes had went by and we hadn't even got out of the first room and there was 3 rooms. And the guy came in and goes, is everything okay in here? And I was like, no, fam. I was like, we're shite.
I was reading a funny story on TikTok today. I don't know if I was reading it or watching it or listening. I can't remember, but one anyway. And it was about a girl that works in one of these escape rooms, and like it was like a hotel room escape room, and the two, as a boyfriend and girlfriend, started getting off on the bed, not knowing that the people can watch it in the cameras. Yeah. And then the girl said to them afterwards, like, yeah, whenever you got it, I could see how happy you were in your faces, and then it clicked. It clicked to them that obviously she could see them her giving him a blowjob earlier on that day. Like, fucking funny.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I just seen that on TikTok today. It made me laugh.
That is not, you would do that.
So if you ever do them while escape rooms, keep your willy in your pants. No, it was funny.
That's fucking mad. On to the TikTok scene. You are not that far away from 1 mil.
Getting there.
Which is crazy. So congratulations. That's class.
Thank you.
You're doing really, really well.
Thank you.
How did that kind of come about then? How did that start?
I don't know. I really just fucking
You just start posting one day and Fawn's going to tell jokes?
I think the very first, I had a few that maybe made it semi-big, but the first one that maybe like massively made it big was one that was like, can I buy you a drink? And it was like, no, it's bad for my legs. And then he was like, why does it make them swell? And then the girl replies, no, it makes them spread. And I went like this, no, it makes them spread, And this one like reached 1 million, and I was like, fucking hell, okay, right?
Jesus.
So the people like this, they like the dirty. So I just thought like, I've got to keep this theme running. So I kept doing a few other wee like dirty jokes or dirty, and I soon realised that was my niche. I never had a niche, and then that became my niche. And I found when you stick to your niche, you grow. You do. People want what they want, and then you grow. And I've just done so well since that. But don't get me wrong, it hasn't stopped me from posting whatever I want to post in between. I still post my wee makeup videos and my stupid videos in between and whatever.
Your dance videos and stuff.
Yeah, but I'm known as the wee dirty bitch in TikTok that does the dirty jokes, And I'm fine with that because it makes my TikTok grow and it pays my bills. So do you know what I mean? It's absolutely
You're a full-time
fine.
TikToker now.
Yeah.
That's what you do for a living. Like some people can't wrap their head around that concept. That you can make a living posting content on TikTok. Like, there's still people in my old job did not believe that I could make a living off this.
I couldn't really wrap my head around it, to be honest with you, and it's happening to me in my real life, but it still doesn't seem real to me at all. It really doesn't. But it just makes, anytime you get a negative comment or abuse, it just makes it all that better because it's like, it really doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
I'm just doing my fucking job. I don't care what you think. Do you know what I mean? And anyone out there who's trying to make it big on social media, and I know it's such a cliche thing for people to say, but you really need to stop caring about what other people think and just do your own thing. And everyone out there is trying to copy each other or whatever, but just do what you want to do. Stop trying to follow everyone else. Just do your thing and it will work out for you. It really will.
That literally would have been a question, like if you could have given somebody advice that actually wants to grow a social media platform, like what would you do?
Do your own thing. I'm sure so many girls will look down on me for the type of content that I post, and I don't really give a shit. Because one, to be honest with you, it's my real sense of humour. As I've told you, I'm not faking it, whatever. That's just my sense of humour. I find it funny. It doesn't mean I'm out doing whatever every weekend, being this and being that. It's just a laugh.
Joke.
It's just a joke. It's just my sense of humour. It doesn't mean I am a certain way.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's working out really well for me, and I'm making a life out of it. So, why the fuck not?
Well, people are into that because it's honesty. It's funny. That even with my interviews, I'm asking people, what's your favourite sex position? What's your favourite kiss?
Yeah.
What makes a good kiss? Like,
That's what first drew me to you guys, because I just thought this was fucking hilarious. Like, your wee interviews in the port, I just thought, who is this legend and where does he come from? And why have I not been interviewed by him yet?
I know, and you were out on Saturday night and I didn't see you. I can't believe
Go on,
that.
give me some of these questions.
I know. Well, the quick fire questions.
Quick fire!
They're going to be coming up, don't worry about that. But what about the... and he's the one that's protective too, so
Oh, he's not.
I better be careful. But the TikTok Northern Ireland scene, you are like, I don't know, I look at it, you're like the biggest one on it. Like,
Do you think?
I would say you're the most followed person in Northern Ireland. You're bound to be.
I think that's fucking crazy. There's no
I
way.
don't know. I could be wrong.
It's
Don't let it
probably
disrespect.
wrong.
Aye. But like from who I know locally, Northern Ireland and people that consider themselves on the scene, definitely by far the biggest. But you're never at any of them things.
No,
Like,
I never get invited to any of my
I'm one-
influencer events or
send
events.
this girl an invite, would you? Get in her DMs now. No, but you
Maybe
did
not
say earlier
considered an
off camera,
influencer.
which I really love and respect about you, is you're not an influencer. You're not
No.
trying to be an influencer.
No, I'm not. I would never say I'm an influencer. I would say content creator, whatever that even means. But that's
Exactly.
because my job is to make videos. But I'm not. I would say an influencer is the girls that go and put these outfits on and take pictures out in the street, which I have nothing against. Fair fucking play to them. I just can't do that. I post for like 5 seconds and I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, no, it's just not. It's just not me. Yeah. So I've got like 2 posts and it's like, or that's it. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just not me. But I'm able to do what I love by just making videos. So I don't need to be an influencer. I don't need to try and sell you products that I don't even use.
I really respect that because something really resonated with me because I don't consider myself an influencer.
No.
Like, some people have thrown that word out to me.
There's a
No,
difference,
but-
and people don't. Everyone doesn't understand that.
Yeah, and there is like some people have said that, and I'm like, I don't even know if that's what I call myself. I just call myself Stefan still. Like I'm just doing what I
Yeah.
love. But like you only do stuff that actually makes sense for you, that
Yeah.
lines up with what you want to do with your page, with your jokes, with the way you want to brand yourself. Because you have built a brand, I would say. Like you've fully executed on building a successful brand working for yourself.
Like your brand, pretty much. But that is.
But you don't see it. I'm sure you don't even see it. Like even me talking to you right now, you're like, I built a brand.
People try and tell me this, but I don't like it. But it all happens so accidentally, guys. Honestly, that it's like
But that's what I'm the same.
it's just,
You're just like, what the fuck?
yeah.
You're just like,
And
I
some
don't
people
know.
are like, well, what are you doing next, and what do you aspire to be, and what are your goals? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just out here chilling.
Exact
like, it's
same.
Just like,
And I love that mentality because you're never chasing the next bag. You're literally executing content because you fucking love it.
yeah.
And that is it. Like, who gives a fuck about the next bag? Just go month by month, hope for the best. You can always get a job if it dries up. You don't need to monetize shit. It will come to you if you're doing the right thing. And that's exactly what's happened to you.
I've
and I
had silly
love that.
brand deals and stuff, and I will definitely, if it's not in my interest, I'll turn them down. Like it doesn't. I'm not out there to make money. Like and some of the stuff's that.
admirable.
That's so
That
good.
is admirable.
No way. Because I just know, and this might be a bad thing to say actually, but there's times where I watch people's video and I shouldn't say this, but I do judge them. I'm like, why are you like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
Like, you know, you're a content creator, but you know, people have that crossover of /influencer. You can probably, I don't know, like, how would you say, not a third eye, but like you kind of have that, like, you know, when someone is, oh, I actually use this.
Yeah.
Or this product is great. This
Yeah.
is that.
Or you're just doing it
Or
because you're
just
being
doing it
paid. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think that's probably like what even drives probably even more that mentality to just produce your own stuff and be so selective as to what actually put out.
We've got to be careful. If you are a content creator or an influencer out there, be yourself and don't completely try and monetize all your content because you'll lose your true followers who are following you for your personality because there's no personality in trying to sell people stuff 24/7.
Like that's
It's not.
something like I know, Stefan, you're like you're very big on, like you're very big on, like, you know, like you don't even want to monetize this, really. Like
It's
you're
for the
just
fucking
about
fun.
just
And
for the
I've
fun of
thought
it.
It's nice to meet you. It's you meet nice
It's
people,
literally that.
similar
It's
mindset,
just
having
nice
a
to
good
meet you.
time, positive
Exactly.
Yeah.
vibes.
Because
More-
I have been advised to put this shit on that Patreon app, I think it's called.
Yeah.
You know, where you pay a subscription, $7.99 a month, which I
Yeah.
get that shows like a loyalty from the fan base, but I don't even want the $7.99 a month times 100. Like I couldn't give a fuck.
If I could tell you how many times I've been contacted to put my jokes, now not even dirty content, or well, not that my jokes aren't dirty content, but my jokes on OnlyFans, right, and charge for the jokes.
Right.
I could be a fucking millionaire,
You could.
and people would pay just to see them jokes on
Yeah.
OnlyFans. But like, that's not what I'm fucking
you,
about.
it's not
That's
you,
not
like,
what.
it's not
No, absolutely not. Or even just bikini pics up on OnlyFans. But like, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to do it, I could. But like.
Yeah. No, but
it-
that's fair. Like, but to me, that like stands even more testament to actually your character again.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
no
you're
offense to
real,
the
like-
people that do OnlyFans either.
Yeah,
like if that's
do
what
your
they
own
want
thing,
to do,
like,
but
like individual expression, like do your own
Yeah,
thing, like but,
yeah.
you know,
it's
that's-
just
yeah.
not.
It's not in line with what you value and what you do. Like,
No,
yeah, that's cool. What?
no.
That's class for sure, for sure. What about the time for the quickfire?
Yes, well before that. Before the quickfire, I know she's hyped for it.
Another question.
Better at 70, we had this moment, and the only kind of structure to this podcast, because this podcast is completely unscripted, as you know. But I always have a
I
question.
just realised I haven't looked at the camera at all. I've
No,
been
you
looking
haven't.
at
It's all
you.
good, it's all
I've been
good.
looking at these two beautiful boys over here. Can't keep my eyes off you.
Yes, girl. But I have a tattoo on my leg. Better at 70. That's all it says, right?
This isn't going to be a fucking question about bad tattoos, is
No,
it?
no. Wait, do you have a mad tattoo?
No.
Oh, sorry. No, so I got this tattoo. I've got this tattoo on my leg just because it means a lot to me. Like, it's something I wake up, I see it in the morning.
Better than 70?
Better at 70.
Better at
So it means I
70.
want to get older but get better. Because I do believe most people get older but get worse.
I think you get better every day.
Exactly. That's the whole ethos behind it. Because most people I see, you know, they hit 40s, they hit their 50s, and they just, like, their ambition goes down the drain.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even about money. It's just about the quality of your relationships, really. It's the real heart behind it.
You actually get better at 70
Yeah,
rather than
better. Exactly. And, like, because life throws a lot of stuff at you, right? By the time you hit 70s, you've seen a lot, you've done a lot, and most people, they get worse from it. Whenever really, you can't do much about it, you just have to go with it. So it's something that motivates me, something that really inspires me. Is there a quote that you live by that kind of inspires you to do what you do? It's a deep question, I know.
It's a very. Do you know what? I don't know why, but I've always loved the saying "beggars can't be choosers." I don't really have a reason behind that to back this up, but like, if you're stuck in a situation, don't be a picky wee bastard. Like, take your choice. Beggars can't be a chooser, but that's probably not as deep as yours.
No,
But
but it still means something to you.
yeah, whatever path you are in life, be grateful whatever's put in front of you because, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't be like fussy and think that you're better and you can get this or you can get that.
Yeah.
If you can only have whatever you've set in front of you, take it and do whatever you can with it because beggars can't be choosers.
No, that's very mean, because that's like long-term mentality.
That's actually like from what like I'm
That's
be honest,
good.
from what you initially said, I was like, what internally, what? But I was like, the way you've actually explained that, I'm actually like,
Yeah.
that
No,
actually makes
it's a long-term mentality, because you're basically saying, like, don't snub the days of small
Yeah.
beginnings.
yeah,
You know,
like
Yeah.
the grass ain't greener on the other
You know,
side.
like-
Yeah, absolutely. I think some people can be set things down in front of them and they'll turn up their nose at it and think, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But actually, you might not ever get any better than that. So take it and do what you can with it and then build from that and go on.
no, that's good. Wise words from Rachel right there.
I'm a wise woman.
She's wise. Hit her up with some quick fire, mate. She's ready for it.
Going for it. Right, you used to be brunette and blonde. Do you regret the decision, brunette or blonde?
This is a question I will never be able to fucking answer because I loved brown. I loved brown, but I got so much abuse for going brown. And both my brothers were like, Rachel, you look like, I'll not say the word, but they didn't like how I looked with brown hair. They were like, you need to go back blonde. I also had filmed the show when I had blonde hair, so I thought when the show comes out, I probably should be back blonde because everyone will know me as a wee Irish blonde or whatever. That maybe wasn't the right thinking, but I do like brown as well. Can you guys tell me in the comments if you're watching brown or blonde? Because it's still an internal battle in my own brain.
What is it naturally?
Brown.
Brown
Is
is
brown
brown
actually
is your
you
natural
dye
hair.
Yeah,
You dye it
yeah.
blonde, right. Leads on to the next question. Top 3 traits, like quick off the bat on a guy that you look for.
Kind, caring, and cuddly.
Cool.
I'm so cuddly. Sorry. Love a
Does that
spoon.
mean dad bod?
I don't give a fuck. Yeah, dad bod or ripped, either or. As long
You're
as you
going
give
for
good
it.
cuddles.
Sorted. What is your biggest ick?
I hate when guys bite their nails down really short. And I think this might actually be an internal thing because I used to bite my nails really short.
No, but
So-
I agree. To me, that's like...
Yeah, I really... Let me see them nails.
I had never bitten them in my life.
They're very short.
Ick.
It's all right. He's got a girlfriend. Let me see yours. That's all right. They're okay.
Sort it, wifed up. No, I'm joking. No, my last of my quick fire questions would be, I'm going to go a wee bit deeper in this one.
Oh, gee, I like it deep.
There we go, sense of humor's coming out, or it's true. If you could, if there was one thing in your life that you could do, and you'd absolutely love to do now that, like, being on a TV show, you know, and sort of being a content creator, if you could be or do anything else, or like, what's like one like milestone or achievement that would be like, not that I've made it, but you're like, I'd really, really love to do that you haven't done yet.
Well, probably never going to happen because I'm not smart enough, but I would love to be a nurse or scientist and cure Alzheimer's.
That's class.
Whoa,
Yeah. But
I love that.
hopefully someone out there is smart enough to do it someday because there's a lot of
Is
it
there
out
a
there
heart
and it's
behind
pretty
that, or is
sad.
it just something that...
Well, my granny and granda have both suffered from it.
Oh.
And I reckon I've already got a wee touch of it at the age of 23. I'm riddled with it. Not even joke. I can't even remember when I was 16. My memory's awful.
Well, you never
But
die, to be fair.
it just,
I can't remember
it
that
takes people's lives away and it's a wee bit sad. So if I could, I would find the cure for that and
Yeah.
that would be lovely.
No, that's fair.
That's class. First question for you. Have you tried Prime?
Amazon Prime.
No. KSI and Logan Paul's drink Prime.
What?
So do you know KSI and Logan Paul, right?
I know
The
Logan
YouTubers.
Paul. Who KSI is that?
The KSI, the
Oh,
YouTuber and
I think
singer
I've-
from.
yeah, I
have
think
you
I've
tried
heard
their drink Prime?
No.
It's a hydration drink. I've got something. For it.
Oh, he's whipping out the liquids.
It's a hydration drink. So if you want to stay hydrated, drink Prime. Rachel's going to try it for the first time. Let us know what your thoughts are there, Rachel.
Woo!
Blue Raspberry is
Raspberry.
just released in Northern Ireland really recently. So I'd love to get your taste review. Does it smell good?
Smell some good shit. That's fucking lovely.
You like it?
Is there caffeine in that?
No, so it's full of electrolytes. It's got vitamins in it. Coconut water.
Jesus, I love coconut water.
Yeah. It's actually a
That is-
hydration
Have
drink.
you tried it?
Unbelievable.
Try that there. That is beautiful.
My first time trying this shit too.
Let's see your review of Prime.
That is gorgeous.
Isn't it good?
Yeah.
What flavour is it?
That's blue raspberry. So it comes, I think there's 5 flavours, but they're really hard to get. They sell out on
Just
Amazon.
slides down the throat.
Give
Like
us your
that
review of Prime there, mate.
Well, the comment slides in your throat of fucking it's just about to come out my nose. Honestly, do you want to know something? Like, there's
It's
Powerade,
really, really nice.
there's
Oh,
flipping
it's better
other
than
stuff.
Powerade. I love Powerade though, but it's up there.
No, it's good, but I mean, I'm like,
Good stuff in it.
see, to be honest, a lot of like YouTube stuff, I'm like, that's just
Full of
all
shite.
hype, that's pure shit. That is actually banging.
Where'd you get your hands on that?
So you get it in Asda in Northern Ireland. They've only dropped in certain stores. But
Korean. Korean?
No. I think it's Antrim, and then there's one in Belfast somewhere, and then there's one somewhere else. But they sell out like fuck. So make sure you go in Asda and get some Prime and stay hydrated, folks. Shout out to KSI and Logan Paul.
Thanks,
So-
KSI and Logan Paul.
It's a good drink, though, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
It's really nice.
good.
Really, really good. You said you don't. I think you said earlier you don't have a tattoo.
Oh, I've loads of tattoos.
Oh, you have loads of. All right, all right. So hit us up. How many tattoos have you got, and what do they mean?
So I've got 5 tattoos. I've got, this was supposed to be like a henna style tattoo, right?
Very good.
I woke up drunk one morning and I wanted a wrist tattoo for ages. I just went and got it done in Bondi Beach.
Was it
It
good?
kind of, this side though looks a wee bit like, do you ever be in your granny's living room and do you know the way there's a wee banner goes round the middle of her, banner goes round the middle of the wallpaper? That's that. But anyway.
For the ones listening on Spotify, I'm really sorry you can't see this, but
Yeah, sorry guys.
get it on YouTube.
I've got my wee elephants here that I got in Bali. That's my favourite one.
That's really well done.
It's probably the only one I like.
That's really nice.
Thank you.
Does that mean anything just because you're in Bali?
Just like elephants. I've got smile here so that if someone's sideward spinning me, they'll smile. Favourite position, big shout out to the sideward spin. I do have a little stick dog here, which I can't show obviously because it's
Too low.
intimate area, yeah. But so I wanted a stick man on my shoulder, like waving. So if someone was by me, they would see wee stick man waving. It was in Magaluf, drunk. And I thought, do you know what? I love dogs. I wonder is there such thing as a stick dog? And I just Googled it and there was a stick dog. And I just thought, fucking, like, first one that came up on Google. Yeah. I have had it lasered 3 times, but it's still there, unfortunately, for now. And then I have a wee quote here that says, always forgive, but never forget. Which I would kind of take back because now I would say always forgive and forget. Like, move on with your life, get over it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But that was because my dad cheated my mum and I was only like 12 and I hated him for it, but I'm over it now.
She's forgotten. That's good. That's good.
I've forgiven and I've forgot. Well, have I forgot actually? Maybe do forgive and never forget.
I would say you're probably like, it's not like.
It's not that you
forgive, but it's forgiving and letting go.
Yeah.
Let go, but
you can't typically if there's something as emotionally impactful as that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna forget.
Yeah. Well, that's probably where it came from and why.
Just let it go.
It just seems a little bit spiteful now, but I suppose there is still truth behind it. Like, I never will forget what. Yeah.
What makes a good kisser?
Ooh. I don't know, man. I love whenever you get kissed, whenever you get
Will
the
said that you were a really good kisser on the Netflix show. What's the technique? That's one of my TikTok questions,
I don't know. I like nice and slow, like no real fast shit, no washing machine. Nice and slow. Love like whenever you, like the lips are like not all tongue, a wee bit of lips as well. Like a wee fill around the face. I love when you get the butterflies in your tummy as well, but I suppose that depends on the person. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just no fast shit and don't be doing any.
There you go. If you see her at a national, you know what to do. What is your ideal night out? We were talking that you were national. What is your ideal night out?
Don't get me wrong, I love a wee festival, love a wee rave, love a bit of hard style, throw any of it at me. But my ideal night out would probably be the pub where you can get chatting to people and actually hear each other speak.
I'm starting to get that way,
Yeah.
That must be an age thing. Well, you're really young. You're still really young, but
you go to these clubs and nightclubs and shit. You can't hear each other speak, and you're just
dancing.
Doof, 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 doof. That's all it is all night, I like getting to know people and stuff and getting to chat.
Because it gets like, I think like especially whenever, for a lot of folk, whenever you come out of like a relationship or a long term whatever, you kind of do like you hit the party scene, you go mad, blah 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 blah. But there becomes a point where it's just like,
a bit boring.
Not that there's got to be more to life than this, but it's kind of just this like, God, it's so shallow. You know what I mean? Like you
don't want to be out there every weekend.
Do you know what I mean? Like you want to actually like, one like fresh Sundays, I'm a big flipping shout out for like. But like you know what I mean? Like you do want that if you do have a night out, actually enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
And if you're wanting to meet a new woman, if you're ready, you're not going out to a nightclub where you're bouncing around and can't speak to each other. Ideally, you're probably not going to go home with a boyfriend after that. Like you need to be doing things where you can actually get to know people or whatever. And like,
sure.
What's your ideal date then? I know you're single, so any guys out there that want to take you on a date, what are you looking for?
this probably sounds crazy because I've been on a dating show and I've been single for 5 years. But see, the God's honest truth is I really haven't done that much dating. I've been
You
on
did
a
say
couple.
that on the show. You did say you're not a datey kind of girl.
I really haven't.
Which is cool. You're really just focused on what you want to do, really.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I really haven't done much dating. I'm trying now to put myself out there a wee bit more, but like I would say something like maybe mini golf or darts or bowling or like an activity.
Something fun.
Like, see, I don't mind dinner either, but sitting down with a stranger opposite dinner, like looking at each other, it's like very
Definitely
intense.
not first date. Definitely not first date.
To me, that's like
hell no.
That's my idea of the worst.
Yeah, like at least
You need a date
bowling,
you
you can
can
put your concentration on something else if you're doing bowling or darts.
And
like
you can
it-
always leave early on them kind of dates.
And I forget, like,
Do you know what I mean?
my key is like,
I'm his get out clause. Like, if I get a phone call,
SOS!
they are.
My
get a
mum's
phone
died,
call.
I need you to come pick me up!
Just don't work anymore.
All the girls know him now. He gets recognised for being on this podcast. So if you're dating this man and he goes, I need to ring Steph in a minute, you're fucking out.
I'm celibate.
I'm turning celibate as well, I've had enough of boys. I'm either going to go celibate or try girls next.
Whatever floats your goat.
There you go.
Whatever floats your goat.
Last question for you, and you can have a wee bit of a chat about it because there's a wee bit of a probably loaded question as well.
Okay.
But we've chatted about what you've done so far. So the Netflix show, you've auditioned for a few dating shows now. You're doing your own thing on TikTok. You've kind of made it in a lot of people's eyes. A lot of people and a lot of girls would look at you and go, I kind of wish I was Rachel. I kind of wish I was doing what she was doing, which is unbelievable. What advice would you give / what's kind of next for you? So was Netflix and all these kind of big opportunities that's happened to you open any doors? Like, what does the next kind of 6-12 months look like for Rachel?
So the next 6 months is a hard one. I think I'm going to keep my head down, just stay at home, work, save up, and I want to move away and get in a wee apartment by myself in a city somewhere. I don't like living in the countryside.
Okay.
It's not for me. TV-wise, so I'm contracted with Netflix for the next year since the date of the release of the TV program, so I can't do much without Netflix's
So they can pull
permission.
you into another show if they feel like
Yeah.
it's a good fit.
Or if I'm cast for another show, they can be like, no, you're not allowed because I'm contracted
It's
with
conflict of
them.
interest or something, yeah.
I will say I have been cast for a couple of other TV shows since coming out of the Netflix show, but I don't know that they'll go ahead because I'm contracted with Netflix. It's completely down to them.
Right.
I'm just hoping that I can stay relevant for the next year and that they'll pick me up when I'm not contracted with Netflix anymore. So if you guys keep liking and sharing my shit, hopefully that'll happen for me next year.
100%.
But as for goals and stuff, I've never really had any, but well, I didn't think I did, but this is a mad story, right? So my first ever boyfriend when I was like 16, now I never remember this conversation, but just as the show was coming out, he told me and he said, Rachel, do you not remember? And I was like, no, I don't. And he was like, one day we were sitting in your bedroom chatting and he asked me what I wanted in life or whatever, what I was going to do when I was older. And he said, I just sat him down and said, like, look, I might sound crazy, and I don't know why I think this, but I just know I'm going to be on TV, and I think, like, I just know I'm going to be on TV screens. Now, I told you earlier, I have a really shit memory. I was 16, and I said to him...
Talk about manifesting and shit.
I said to him, at 16, I don't know why or how, but, like, I just know I'm going to be on people's TV screens. Yeah. So I had said this to him at 16.
There you go.
So
you've been on Family Fortunes as well.
Yeah, we'd done Family Fortunes and then Netflix. So... But it doesn't feel like a massive want to me, but obviously deep down it's there in the back of my head. It must have been, because I've said it to him when I was 16 and now it's happened. Yeah. So hopefully in a year's time maybe I'll be on another TV show doing my thing. But I think it also comes down to, I crashed my car on the way home from school one day.
Oh, fuck.
I know, sorry about that. I think I was upper sixth, so I only had like not less than a year to finish school. Yeah. But I never went back because I was so embarrassed. I crashed my car and I never went back to school.
Really? Wow. So you didn't you didn't get them qualifications?
I got my ASs, but I never got my A2s. So I joined tech and I did beauty, level 2 beauty, and I've completed that. And then I realised I don't want to do beauty. So I was at the stage in my life where I'd done beauty, didn't want to do it, and I had no other qualifications. What else am I going to do? So I worked in hospitality or whatever. So it's not like someone like Andy, say, goes and be a quantity surveyor and then gets asked, does he want to be on TV? He's risking his whole career for this and stuff. Yeah. I have nothing to fucking lose. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And people have always told me, you have the personality for TV, do this, do that. So I thought, fuck it, why the hell not? Yeah. So if I end up on TV, I've got nothing else to lose. Yeah. But I don't think it's something that people should aspire to do either, because if you have a good job as a QS or a nurse, like, that's a lot more applaudable than ending up on TV. I think people think that this is amazing and it's this and it's that, but so's your job as a QS or as a nurse or as a doctor, as a dentist. Like, all of them are plausible. Yeah. I just didn't have a plausible career or a career that I really loved. Yeah. So TV would be something that I could fall back on because I don't have much else to fall back on.
Can we talk about, we were talking about it off air, I don't know if you're allowed to say, but your next job, remember you were talking about your next TikTok you have to make?
Wait, which one? I've got a couple. I've got 3 TikToks to make
the crazy
tomorrow.
one, the mad one, the fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Right, let us know, what's your next TikTok job?
So I've got a brand campaign coming up for a vibrator. If any of you are feeling horny, and no, if you are questioning what you get your girlfriends for Christmas, or girlfriends, if you're questioning what you get your boyfriends for Christmas, I have the perfect toy.
Do we get commission?
So what is it? It's your dildos and cock rings, right?
Right. No. Okay. So I'm going to be promoting the cock ring. Now, most of my followers are males, so there'd be no point in me promoting a female vibrator, to say as such. So let's say the male cock ring, the males can use by themselves, or they can use on the females as well. So like
It's a win,
best
isn't
of
it?
both worlds, win-win. I've never actually tried one, so I'm excited to see what it even looks like. Like, I can't wait for it to come. Just need to find a guy to try out on.
You just need a boyfriend now and you're landed.
Don't make me cry. But yeah, so if you see me promoting sex toys, at least just know that's what I'm all about.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
This isn't influencer shit. This is just brand and fucking.
I promise you guys I'll try it out before I try and promote it to you as well. I'll find a boyfriend or fuck buddy between here and then.
Literally getting it used on.
You were just giving all these toys, mate. Here, I don't give a fuck if you're good or shite. Just
Hopefully it
use this.
fits.
That is mad. That is actually mental. But nah, enjoy that. That'll be fun.
I will enjoy it. Thanks.
I look forward
I'll
to
give
seeing
you
that
my
TikTok
discount
video.
code and you can enjoy one as well.
Discount code is Nice to Meet You podcast. That's your discount code.
Yes. Listen, guys, if you aren't watching Nice to Meet You podcast, or you haven't watched it before, you better start watching it. These guys are the shit, and it's been an absolute pleasure being on
Yes,
the show.
girl. No,
Thank
honestly,
you
it's
for
been
having
so
me.
good. So good to have you on.
You've been so lovely and
And-
welcoming. I felt so comfortable the whole time. Thank
That's
you.
good. Thank you so much.
Legends.
Oh,
And we're going to get a night out in the port and ask some people some stupid
We
fucking
are
questions.
doing that. 100% fucking doing that. Definitely doing it. Before I started making TikToks, as I told you off camera, you were on my list. And but even before the Netflix show.
Manifested that shit. Did you
Yeah.
understand about manifesting, guys?
And Donkey
It takes
was on the
place.
list, and I have a few other ones on the list that I still haven't got on yet, but I know I will. Yeah. And honestly, you were like, I always thought your videos were funny. I've seen them
Thank you.
beat it about all over the internet. People's reacted to them, big names and stuff. And I was like, this girl's funny as fuck. We need to get her interviewed. So I've built a podcast, built a platform. I've got you here, and honestly, it's really been good to meet you.
Absolute pleasure. You're pros.
Yes.
You're pros.
Yes, girl. Thank you so
I have
much.
faith in you. You'll do very well.
Stay hydrated about Prime as well.
Drink Prime, folk.
Thank you. Subscribe to the Nice to Meet You podcast YouTube channel, TikTok as well, and you can find Rachel at Rachel Foster.
Rachel Foster 512. Hit me up. I am single. The DMs are open.
There you go, lads. Hit her up.
Only if you've got a big dick. No. I'm only joking.
Peace out. Thank you.